It's fucking shite. Yo, what's happening, lads and ladies and trannies and whatever else, because I don't want to fucking be sexist or leave people out in my first ever commentary. I've been told to do a commentary, so fucking, yeah, I'm currently sat, keeping out my fucking titties, talking to myself, wondering what the fucking hell I'm doing. So, yeah, be fucking gentle. I'll never do another one. I got told to do fucking Advanced Warfare. So why not? Yeah, I don't really know what to say about Advanced Warfare other than it's nearly killed me. But fuck it, be technical and bring up actual points, cause yeah, I'm trying for once. Isn't it nice when I try? You see the effort? Good on it. Yeah, I'm probably going to stutter a lot and just sort of freeze, but fuck it, go with it. Love me for who I am. Skill-based matchmaking. It's a lovely point, isn't it? Broken and pointless. But it's nice making everyone play against equal skill people so that all the wee dribblers have got fucking a chance to do well. Even though they all do shite because fucking they've not actually got someone in their lobby who's doing well and they go, ooh, I want to do that myself, because it's just a bunch of people going like 2 and 2 for a full game. But the biggest problem with skill-based matchmaking is what it does to connection. You've got all of the COD population, what used to be split between 2 different groups, Xbox and PlayStation. It's now split between 4. Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3. So it's now split between 4. And then you've got all the different game modes, which trims it down even more. And then you've got all the different regions, which trims it down even more. And then you've got the different skill groups and time zones that trims it down even more. So the potential for you to find a game with good connection and say momentum on a 3KD when the game first came out was useless. You didn't have a fucking chance. You shot people and they did not die. Yeah, that's me freezing because I don't actually know what to say. What was I saying? I was saying something interesting. I'm going off on a tangent and I can feel this slipping away. I've fucked it in. I'm going to keep going because I'm a trooper and I've already done 3 minutes. I don't care. Yes, populations. You've got it trimmed down, so many people and so many different consoles and so many different game modes that it's down to the point where you're connecting to people from Azerbaijan and America and fucking every single corner of the globe, and that would be lovely if dedicated servers worked and, you know, actually did what they're meant to do. But I've joined plenty of games in laggy lobbies, late, so I'm not host, where everyone in another team has left because it's a laggy lobby, so I've got enemies forfeiting. And then everyone in my team has left as well, and it's not got a host migration, and I'm the only person in the lobby without a host migration, which means that's a dedicated server. And then everyone else has joined, the lobby's still lagging, and that means that that's a dedicated server being broken as fuck. So you've got people from Azerbaijan, Germany, obviously, me in Britain, fucking Honolulu, and Narnia, all in one fucking lobby, on a fucking server that's melting. So connection shite, and you shoot people and they don't die, and you can't trust a single fucking death. And skill-based matchmaking, people don't want to play sweats all game every game. It's as simple as that. They don't want to do it because it takes out the fun of COD and the way they've played COD for years. It's not like it's a standalone game where all of a sudden it's just you're playing against people your own skill and that's just what that game is. Call of Duty, you've sat and pumped cunts who are shite for the last fucking however many years, and so all of a sudden everyone in the other team's sweating their tits off every single game. It's not fun, because it's not the COD that you've played for years. especially if you're playing solo and you're getting nothing but full parties on a 3KD, and everyone's flying around and they're all from the other side of the planet, and it's just, yeah, you're lucky if you don't pick up your console and throw it out the fucking window. What else is there? Would you believe that I actually just went for a fag mid-commentary, paused it, went, I'm creeping out my mind, went for a fag, and I've come back fresh and ready to go again. The other thing with fucking skill-based matchmaking is, see, for someone like me, who has very high standards and has had very high standards over every single Call of Duty, skill-based matchmaking is a very annoying thing for people like us, because all over COD, you jump on, you want to get fucking, or the big kill streak, you either want to get fucking a double or a triple, or ideally a fucking quad, or 100 plus, or 150 plus, or 200 plus. Not that you aren't good against other good players, but these sort of things aren't going to be done against other people of your own skill level. You have to play monkeys to do these sort of things. Say for example on Ghosts. Now I could sit and play against anyone, no bother at all, but that was because it was random. I could have one game, get a cairn, next game, get a double cairn, next game, choke a triple cairn, go for 100 plus, all that sort of shit. But also you could come against a full party and smash them all. But that was fun because it wasn't every single game. You didn't have to do it every single game. You didn't have to use an MTAR or a Vector or a fucking Remington every single fucking game. You didn't have to do that shit against a full party on MW3. You didn't have to do it against a full party in Black Ops every single game. So there was variety. Skill-based matchmaking makes it so that you've got to sit and play against horrible cunts every single game. So you're not able to go, oh, you know what, this game, I'll put on a weird submachine gun and go for a fucking streak with that. Because the people in your game are apparently just as good as you. And so putting on a pea shooter of an SN6 or a fucking leaf blower of a TAC 19 and trying to get a DNA with that against 3KD people is just impractical. It's never going to fucking happen, and so you're just going to make yourself start cutting, to be honest with you. The whole variant thing, variants would have been a smashing idea if they had been implemented correctly, but they weren't. Instead of making it, in MW3 you used to get gold titles when you got 1000 headshots with a gun. Now, if they'd done it so that when you got 1000 headshots with a BAL or an ASM1 you got the Obsidian Steed or the Speakeasy, that would have at least made it a little bit more practical. But they didn't, they just made it randomised. So in Sledgehammer's ideal little world of everyone playing against people with their own skill level, you've got me, for example, using a regular BAL and shooting someone, and it takes 4 bullets for me to kill him, but he's just as good as me, so we've seen each other at the exact same time, and we've both fucking jumped up in the air with our fucking scuffs, because we're all horrible bastards. It takes him 3 bullets to kill me with an Obsidian Steed, it takes me 4 with my BAL, my regular BAL, and that creates fucking randomness that cunts hate. So they go on God accounts. They go on a God account and they can use whatever fucking gun they want, on whatever map they want, and they can actually enjoy COD and play COD the way they've wanted to play it for years. Personally, I still fucking hated it, but that's because, you know, I don't like people that fly. I like my enemies to stay on the floor and walk, or possibly run to a flag, rather than fly to it and go, well, you know what, I'm apparently Buzz Lightyear, off to the moon and off to Sedom. But the biggest thing with variants is the fact that you don't have to earn them. There is no way to earn them. Well, now with the new prestige system there is, but for so long there wasn't a way to earn them. So you had cunts running around who couldn't use or couldn't kill people with their favourite gun because they weren't lucky enough to get a version of the gun that they wanted to use that was practical. Instead you had people going, well, apparently I've got an elite fucking what a KF5, but I quite want to use an ASM1, but I'm not able to use a Speakeasy, even though that's a gun I want to use. They've spent their £40 in the game. I'd spent my £40 in the game. I'd got the fucking season pass. I'd put out £80 in the game, but I wasn't allowed or lucky enough to use what variant I wanted to use. And people didn't have an option of skill coming into it of, you know what, if you want a fucking elite bow, sweat your tits off for a week, do this challenge, you've got it. You want a fucking elite KF5 because that's your favourite gun, then sweat your tits off and go for an elite KF5. It's something to go for. It's a challenge. I used to go for the fucking sentry gun challenge in MW3 sort of thing. You might have noticed that I quite like MW3. But it was something to go for. You know? You couldn't go for an elite variant. You still can't go for the Insanity on fucking AW. A lot of people say that the Insanity is the best gun in the game, but they're not allowed to get the Insanity. That's still a gun that you have to be lucky enough to earn. A lot of people would love to use the Insanity, but they're not allowed it. The supply drops are also basically full of shite. Let's be honest. You get fucking gloves. I've got enough Nigerian gear to fucking arm the entire Nigerian army and then some. Fucking... Then they brought out advanced supply drops. And they went, look, now you've got a better chance. You still can't guarantee that you're going to get any of the shit that you want, but you've at least got a better chance of getting it now. And cunts went, well, that's fucking great. How much are they? And they went, too far much more than they're actually worth. But they're also full of shite, because you can't go out and buy 100 supply drops and pop up with the wee option to say, right, you've spent an awful lot of money on advanced supply drops here, what gun would you like to guarantee so that £100 was well spent, at least in your eyes? And someone would go, I want an Insanity, I want this, I want that. They went, well fuck it, here's another bunch of Nigerian clothes, here's a pretty blue head, here's green trousers, so you look like fucking a walking snot monster from Scooby-Doo. Yes. The advanced supply drops cost far too much money and they're still full of shite. The other thing is they brought out new DLC guns that were apparently fan favourites from older Call of Duties. I didn't really play World at War or fucking Modern Warfare 2, but a lot of people would have. And for a lot of people, the AK-47 and the STG, they would have fucking loved to use those guns because they're their favourite guns from that Call of Duty, for example. But yet again, they're not allowed to use that gun. Apparently, you know, if you prestige and all that shit, then you've got a chance of getting it through advanced supply drops, but for a lot of people that's still just stupid because you can't guarantee it. There's absolutely no way of guaranteeing anything, so the idea of going 30 prestiges and not being sure of getting what you want just makes people angry. So yeah, you've got these legendary variants of guns that people would love to use and love to get, but they're not allowed them. It says they're allowed them because on the menu it goes, here's a gun here, you can get it through a supply drop or an advanced supply drop. But basically what it's saying is, if you really, really want to use it, then can we have some of your money and you can buy advanced supply drops. Now, the other thing is, people are going to get endless amounts of shite out their advanced supply drops, but it's a funny one because people might want to use their old favourite gun from MW2, the AK-47, but in this game it's not actually an overpowered gun, it's not a great gun. The same with the M16, they're both shite. You know, they are both absolutely fucking shite, but they're not even the worst of the DLC guns. For some reason they've decided, you know what, let's put in a pea-shooting pistol that people have to buy advanced supply drops to get. Or you might be lucky enough to get a normal supply drop, but that could take, you know, a fucking year. But the blunderbuss, for example, I just don't understand that. That's a gun that shoots, apparently, pellets that are dealing more damage than walker tanks. They still get a fucking hit marker, and then they take about 3 weeks to reload. And that's a gun that was available through supply drops or advanced supply drops. They didn't just give it to people that had already spent £40 on their game. The few people that actually stayed in their fucking game when everyone else turned it on and went, you know what, they fly, fuck this, I'm away off. So the whole idea behind bringing out new guns that are shite and nobody actually fucking is going to use, or guns that people actually do want to use and would actually quite like, but it all comes down to luck. Why don't they just give them the base variant of the gun and go, there you go, you've spent your money in the game, this is an update, you know what I mean? So after you've got all of these DLC guns thrown in, and obviously the fact that people needed to dress up as spiders, so that was thrown into the game as well, only in advanced supply drops. You've got people dressed up as luchadors, but let's be honest, it's basically the Flash running around with a jetpack. You've got people with bright red heads, bright blue heads, bright green heads, people dressed as trees, people dressed as spiders, people dressed as evil fucking clowns. You've got cunts kicking about dressed as police officers, firemen, cyborgs, the most ridiculous shit you'll ever see in your life. But that's all thrown in there, and then obviously, like I said, the elite and legendary variants of all these new guns, and just the new guns in general. And then that's kind of spawned a fucking army in YouTube that go on and get little fucking heart attacks when they open an advanced supply drop and they get a fucking shite gun that's got a purple tint behind it and says, here, this is legendary. And these cunts fall off their fucking seats and have tiny little mangasms at the age of like 14 and cream their fucking pants like tiny little fucking school kids looking at their first porno magazine. And it's fucking embarrassing to look at. There's somebody faggot on fucking YouTube somewhere. He's pale and pasty and he's got bright red hair, he looks like he's on fire. And he falls off his seat, has seizures, gasps, wails and cries at the fucking television because he's got a new gun that is basically shite and he's not really going to be able to use because, you know, shoots smiley faces in people's backs because he's not actually getting any aim or ability. And then you've got fucking the big YouTubers like Ali and T Martin and all that shit that fucking, they sit there and make out to all the wee kids that it's a great idea and everyone should go out and buy advanced supply drops, spend mummy and daddy's money in advanced supply drops. So it's created this little fucking army on YouTube who, instead of actually playing the game, open pointless boxes up on a shit game that they all know is shite at the end of the day. They don't actually enjoy it. And they open up these boxes and give out either fake reactions or the saddest real reactions you'll ever see in your life over stuff that's going to be pointless in a couple of months, and is basically pointless just now because you get a professional version of fucking that new submachine gun that's out. But you're not going to use it. You're still going to use your Obsidian Steed or your Insanity or your Speakeasy or your whatever, because that gun doesn't compete. The STG Relic, that does compete. The STG is a good gun, but other than that, the AK-47, having a fucking mangasm over that, the M16, the Cell 3, falling off your seat and panting and coming close to death over that gun is pointless because you're never going to fucking use it. You might use it once or twice for a video, but you know it's absolutely fucking shite. And people are desperate to get this fucking samurai gear. People are dressed up as samurais, and what's the other legendary one? Carnival. You've got these people with their pointless legendary guns that they know are shit, dressed up as samurais on what used to be a fucking war game at World War II of Germans and fucking Russians and Americans kicking about in bunkers with khakis on and little green helmets running away from grenades instead of fucking Pokemon balls that light up like disco balls. So they're running around in samurais, which just makes the whole game look silly, basically. It's made a laughing stock out of what used to be a fucking war game. It's no longer a war game, it's a Star Trek on meth that's poorly made and it's just got randomness. And then you've got the exosuits. And Exosuits have given me several nosebleeds over the course of the fucking year. Instead of lanes, I don't exactly like lanes, but Advanced Warfare is more like a Treyarch COD map design wise, as in it's got lanes, 3 lanes. Now those lanes are completely pointless now, because people have the ability to fly from lane to lane to lane to lane. So it's no longer an engagement where you're going down the right hand side, someone's going to be coming up the right hand side and you're going to meet each other. Because they can fly wherever the fucking hell they want. So it just creates fucking randomness that you can't predict, and a player like me who, for the last however many years, on all the Call of Duties, I'm a camping horrible bastard. I can run around with a submachine gun or a shotgun if I wanted to, but in general, my playstyle is creeping outside of an enemy spawn, ADSing, knowing exactly where they're going to come from, knowing where they're going to go before they've gone there. Having played a map that many times and been in that many like sort of situations that I know what's going to happen before it actually fucking happens, that's taken away when people have the ability to fly wherever the fuck they want. So a lot of people don't like that, and they just turned it off and went, they fly, they're dressed as clowns, they're samurais, and this is just stupid. Goodbye, I'm not playing this again. Also, it just turns gunfights into jumping. I mean, it's just jumping. But you've also got, in theory, skill-based matchmaking is in there, right? Now in Sledgehammer's ideal world, everyone's the same skill level. So, 2 people see each other. Or 3 people see each other. 2 people in one team, 1 person, me for example. They're both apparently just as good as me. One of them can fly up to the right, one of them can fly up to the left. I can't kill both of them. It doesn't matter how good you are, if they're both apparently just as good as you, or even if they're shit, it doesn't really matter, because you can't shoot one person away over to the right and then one person away over to the left and expect to survive when you've also got the possibility of one wee guy flying from 2 stories beneath you straight up behind you. And cunts fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. It's made me genuinely sit and smoke myself half to fucking death. But yeah, that's Exos and just the fact that they put in randomness. In case you didn't know, I'm sitting fucking reading like sort of shit off a DM, you know, just points off a DM, and I'm sort of looking at that and then just running with it. And I've got skill-based matchmaking, Exo randomness, and I just sort of read it and just rant. The other thing is that you've got Michael Condrey on Twitter. Now, he's meant to be technically the face of Advanced Warfare at this point on Twitter. And instead of him being nice to what few fans they have, he takes shots at them and takes pops at them on fucking Twitter. He took a pop at that fucking So Superior on Twitter. And I know you might go, that's all in good fucking humour, ugh, what a troll, blah blah blah. As far as I'm concerned, I look at that and go, you're meant to be a professional, and if one of your customers has a complaint, you're meant to go, we're terribly sorry about that, we'll try and get this bug fixed as quickly as possible, rather than going, well, I personally prefer Destiny, and taking shots at them going, you're a wee fat cunt. Because that's the most ridiculous public relations I've ever seen in my entire life. No other company would do that to their customers, because the person who did that would get sacked, because they would go, what gives you the right to sit and take shots at what little customers we've got fucking left at this point? To sit and take pops at that So Superior. He's basically a walking, talking advertisement for Advanced Warfare. You know, one of the big fucking Twitch streamers and all that shit. And he's sitting taking pops at him. You can't really afford to do that when your game is basically known as being shite. Now, the other thing that they did was they banned people on God accounts. Now, it's not as if people on God accounts are hacking and have an unfair advantage. The only advantage they have is being better than the people that they're playing against. Now, that on any other Call of Duty was not anything to be frowned at. It wasn't anything wrong. You didn't get banned for being better and having a good game in any other Call of Duty, but in this one people get banned for having stats that don't accurately represent their actual skill. Now, that is a completely ridiculous thing to happen. The other thing is, so many people stopped playing the game. So many, sweats stopped playing Advanced Warfare. Half of my friends list stopped playing Advanced Warfare. So what few people did continue playing were on God accounts. Now, what Sledgehammer thought would be a great idea is to ban what few people actually still played and wanted to play their game. And that's just fucking ridiculous. Because you've not got a huge player base left at this point. Half the people went, nah, EXO's not for me. It's not fun anymore. It's not a game that you can pop on when you're pissed, or just have a couple of quick games and fuck about with a mate. You've got to sweat your balls off. And they're banning people off their game. It's not as if they've got God mode. It's not as if they're invisible. You're banning them because they're better than people in the other team. And people take offence to cunts and God accounts. In every other Call of Duty, you weren't a fucking scrub for being sat in a pre-game lobby and a level 1 joining and going, "Hoo, I'm going to bounce him off spawns and get a fucking triple." I mean, it was just a wee, oh, we're going to have a good game here. But apparently, for some reason, on Advanced Warfare, when you sit against someone who's not great, you're a bully and a cyberbully. And you're worse than fucking a paedophile, or a mass murderer, or a child molester, or fucking whatever. You're apparently worse than all of this shit because your stats say that you're shit, but you're actually secretly quite sweaty. And the whole thing's an absolute fucking joke, and everybody knows it. The other thing is, and I don't know if I'll be able to put screenshots into this commentary once it's finished. I do quite want to, but what I'm going to say is, a lot of the people that I played with, they had endless amount of time played and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kills in every single Call of Duty, and fucking basically walking fucking Nazi invasion our party. You know what I mean? Fucking hundreds of thousands of kills. For example, my mate Tom, he had fucking just ridiculous amount of days played on every Call of Duty and mounds of kills, but this Call of Duty, he didn't play it, he stopped playing it, and now poor Tom's gone out and got himself a fucking suntan because he had to get himself a life, goddammit. Some people even went out and got jobs. And I'm going to try and put in screenshots to back that up, but if I can't, basically it's gone from my friends list looking at it and every cunt having 30, 40, 50, 60 plus days played. It's now down to my friends list and the cunts I've played with for years. Stopped playing Call of Duty. Some people have got maybe a day played, maybe an hour and a half. You know, because they turned it on and went, nope, they fly, I'll see you in a bit, lads. So it's gone from my friends list. Every single person on it I'd added through Call of Duty. I didn't add them through any other game. Everyone in my friends list was a Call of Duty player and fucking all that shit. Now I look through my friends list and I would say 95% of them are doing anything other than Call of Duty. Cunts are just either not turning on the PlayStation, they'll be sat on the PlayStation not in a fucking game, or every cunt's on fucking FIFA or Battlefield or Destiny because nobody wants to play Advanced Warfare. Now, they're all fucking COD players, but the reason they're not playing COD is because they've not fixed the problems that I've sat and fucking ranted my little broken mind off about for the last fucking half hour. Because they've done updates, but the updates seem to put